Okay, it's 5:30, so we're going to call the meeting to order. And the first item up is Pledge of Allegiance, led by Ms. Karen Walker.
We would stand. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Now our mission statement will be read by Mr. Terry Draper.
Hello. Beaufort County Schools will provide quality educational programs and services to ensure student academic and vocational success.
Okay, thank you. Anybody sign up for public comment? No? That's what you put in front of me, none. Okay, put my glasses on, I could have seen that. So we have no public comment, so we'll move to approval of the agenda, and everyone has it on their screens in front of them.
So moved.
second.
Okay, it's all current, he says, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed to the way it's set up? If not, we have an agenda, and we'll move over to board minutes. And if you'll pull that item up, you will see that we have just the two sets, the regular and closed. And I'm sure you've had a chance to look over them, so.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I hear a second.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed to the minutes? Okay, we're good. And that will take us directly into recognition, and tonight, Mr. Mac Hodges, I believe, will be assisting with Nicole to my right, and I'll turn it over to them.
Good afternoon. The character trait that was recognized in our schools for the month of September, or the traits, were respect and responsibility. Our prizes this month for the character traits of respect and responsibility were sponsored by Raising a Barn Farm in Chocowinity. At the elementary level, the nominees were from Bath Elementary, Colton Respis; from Chocowinity Middle, Valerie Ramirez Diaz; from Chocowinity Primary, Mason Hester; from Eastern Elementary, Achilles Ricks; from John Cotton Taylor, Allison Groover; from John Small, McKenna Rogers; from Northeast Elementary, Abigail Bartle; and from S.W. Snowden, Darnasia Tatum. And the winner at the elementary level was Achilles Ricks from Eastern Elementary. If you will come forward. You can come with me.
No, I'm not the best looking person, but
Magnum's scared now.
Hold on. Okay, read it.
we gotta get him all, got him.
All right, Achilles is a first grader at Eastern Elementary. His parents are John Ricks and Sharnita Ricks, and he was presented by his teacher, Miss Monica Davis, if she will stand. And Miss Davis wrote, Achilles Ricks walked into first grade showing me the definition of responsibility. Achilles comes into the classroom every morning eager to learn. He unpacks his book bag and sits at his seat. Achilles will begin his morning work without being told to start it. On the third day of school, the class was working on a writing assignment. The table where Achilles was sitting was kind of talkative. He never complained, but I could see the strain on his face as he was trying to concentrate. Before I could say anything to him, Achilles raised his hand and asked if he could move to another table. He said he could not concentrate and needed to get his work completed. I thought this was awesome for a first grader to realize how important it is to get his work completed. Achilles knew he had a job to do and wanted to get it completed without distraction. He showed me and the rest of the class how to be responsible. I am proud of Achilles for working hard and showing the class how to be responsible. We say congratulations.
Shake my hand? All right. Hey, you got all the rest of them to shake hands. Yes. Okay. So right here. Hey, what are you doing now? You got to do that one.
Come on, make it, kid.
Okay, all right.
Don't feel bad, he makes me feel the same way sometimes.
Big boy.
Congratulations.
You just play it to the camera.
His moment of fame. Congratulations, young fellow.
When you're 16, we'll remind you how shy you were. Congratulations.
It'll be way before he's 16.
Give me a bump.
All right. Get it. I got your certificate. One second. Congratulations. Come back just a minute. Miss Booth, you don't have this book.
I don't have that problem, Mike. I never have that.
They all just love you, don't they?
Yeah.
At the middle school level, the nominees were from Bath Elementary, Dylan Waters, from Chocowinity Middle, Mackenzie Seymour, from Northeast Elementary, Jashawn Gorham, from P.S. Jones, Taisha Winley, and from S.W. Snowden, Deshaun Moore. And the winner at the middle school level was Mackenzie Seymour from Chocowinity Middle. She was- Mackenzie is a sixth grader at Chocowinity Middle. Her parents are Amanda Seymour and Russell Seymour, if they will stand. And she was presented by Miss Heather Graham, her teacher. She's here if she will stand. And Miss Graham wrote, Mackenzie Seymour is a wonderful student. I would like to nominate Mackenzie for the character education trait of respect and responsibility. Respect is more than just manners. It is more than just saying yes ma'am and no ma'am. Respect is about an overall regard for another's feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions. Mackenzie shows respect in every way daily. She is always willing to help around the classroom, help another student in the hallway, and stand up for what is right. Mackenzie is attentive during class, and she is always willing to jump up and do whatever is asked. She takes on responsibilities above and beyond what is expected of her by performing great in classwork and asking questions to give herself greater opportunities to learn and be a better person. It is a pleasure to have Mackenzie in my class. We say congratulations.
And it says, awarded to Mackenzie Seymour, Boughton County Schools Character Ed winner, September, respect and responsibility. Okay? All right. Go around and shake the board members. And I'll give you this on the way back. Since you're gonna have to move.
Good job.
Look in the front. At the high school level, the nominees were from the Early College High School, Megan Batchelor, from Northside High School, Robert Midget, and from Southside High School, Kayla Leets, and the winner was Robert Midget from Northside High School, if he will come forward. Robert is an 11th grader at Northside High School. His parents are Robert and Cassie Midget, if they will stand. And he was presented by his teacher, Miss Melissa Boyd. If she's here, she will stand as well. And she wrote, this month's good character is that of respect and responsibility. To me, Robert, or Adam as he is known by all of us here at Northside, is a prime example of the type of responsible and respectful young person you hope to find these days. Not only does he show his teachers and elders great respect with yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, but he is also patient and kind to those he meets. His quiet nature can sometimes come across as being passive, but really he is just watching and learning. Adam would never claim to be the smartest person in the room, but he is one of the hardest working. Adam always comes to class prepared and will double, sometimes triple check with me to be sure that he knows what is required of him and when it needs to be done. Then he sits down and doesn't mess around. He gets it done. To me, that is the embodiment of a responsible and respectful student and young person. He is constantly trying to better himself, and for that I'm very proud to nominate him for this month's Character Ed quality. I wish there were more young people like him. We say congratulations to Adam.
We got a bag here all set with some goodies in it. All right, there you go. And if you don't mind, go around and shake hands with the board. Okay? All right. Please. Now, other two winners, come forward. It's me again. Wait a minute now. Whoa, we need you on the football team, let me tell you. South Carolina definitely needs you.
I'll train you, all right?
All right, I need some training here. Do it that way. Yeah.
Look this way.
Look that way. Don't look at me. All right.
Okay, I believe now we have an award that Dr. Phillips would like to present, or at least mention, talk about.
Let you all know. You all remember last school year, we went through the accreditation process with Advanced Ed, and we received the certificates that we've given to the schools. We've got the window sticker that you put in, but this is the plaque that we've received, and it's just, I guess, makes everything official, even though we went through the exit conference and all that. This just is to certify that Beaufort County Schools received the certificate of accreditation. This is effective June the 30th, through June the 30th of 2022. And I want to say the work that goes behind this, it's 5-year accreditation, is a tremendous amount of work for everyone in our school district. So I'm proud of the work that they put in, but it's also a recognition of what we stand for and the integrity in the educational system. So I wanted to share this with you all, and it'll go up on the wall as you come in the building.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anything else that you have for recognition? I think that concludes the recognition portion of our meeting, and probably a good chance that's why some of you came. So we'll take a minute break before we move into the business section. You're welcome to stay, but if you'd like to leave, now would be the time. And we appreciate you coming out and supporting these students. And of course, they all want to. We need to get up. You know what it's called back. Does he wear a bow tie every day? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's nice. Some people can wear it. Me neither. I just never been that kind of bow tie.
What you get used to.
Yeah. Oh, it looks fine. I've always just wanted more. Looks nice though.
Goes well with this curly hair. Okay, here's
Thanks again. We can clear the room out pretty good, yeah. I just don't know what it is about my fellow board members. Okay, that'll carry us into the no action discussion portion, and just to have a quick discussion, I think. And Andrea Lilly, I believe, well, she has her team, so someone will lead a discussion about the curriculum. Just give us an update on Wit and Wisdom and see if the board has any questions. I had some questions. Told you I don't know nothing about that. I have to write down what I'm telling.
We have a presentation, but we can just run through some highlights and points for you. First off, we went through implementation. We got the training finished, completed. All the teachers attended the training and went through Module 0, which Module 0 is the practice not only for the students but also for the teachers, and so that they're familiar with everything that's in the program. And after that, we've had some calls and some support that we've given, and we felt like we went right out there and took care of it. And then we also have another training coming up, and it started today at PS Jones. Do you want to describe that?
It was a very informal training today. We went through the parts of a lesson plan again and stopped for questions and answers and those kinds of things. We asked if there was anything they needed. They brought up some great points, things that we've written down that we're coming back to discuss. So that's kind of how that next piece will be for all schools. And then we have more upcoming training in October and November through December.
And if you follow Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, we've had a lot of teachers post some really good things that they've had going on in their classrooms and Socratic seminars and things like that, that we'd be glad to share with you if you'd like those.
Okay. Anyone comment? Okay. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of calls, and I mean, just curious. how much, a lot of it seems to be sent, and when I say got a lot of calls, I mean, I've had like teachers from 5 different schools that people don't ever even call me, but they have lately. What kind of prep work, when they're telling me there's a ton of prep work to this, and I don't understand enough probably even figure out what they're saying, I know what prep work is, but when you guys presented it to us, it looked like there was a module outlined, and it looked like it was kind of laid out in steps. What is it I'm hearing that they're saying they're taking an hour, hour and a half, sometimes at night, preparing? I had a teacher just today that was at a school, and, I mean, you know, these are veteran teachers, so, I mean, I think they know what they're doing, and she's got a reading background, and she said she had to study like an hour and a half this weekend to be prepared to teach it. I mean, why is there this much prep work? What are they talking about? I mean, is everybody, I guess, is everybody understanding it properly? Or is it
Right.
a training issue? What is it exactly?
It is new, you do have to study, but a lot of teachers have, on their own accord, not because we've asked them to, created PowerPoints to assist them during their instruction, and that is time consuming.
Right. But is that, I mean, is that something they have to do? I mean, if they don't do that, how do they, I mean, I'm on the outside kind of looking in, how are they teaching if they don't have something to show?
And we
That's
have
what I'm
some of
saying.
those videos for you.
Okay.
If you'd like us to come back and show
I
them.
mean, I'm just trying to figure out why why so many teachers are telling me they're spending so much time.
Style, what he or she prefers.
Okay.
But with it being a new program, you're gonna have to plan differently than you've
Well-
ever planned before, and sit down and be knowledgeable about what you're gonna
And-
present the next day.
And we've had some teachers, we've even asked ourselves, do we need to prepare these PowerPoints? We've had some teachers say, I don't want a PowerPoint, I want to walk around with my notes, I don't want to be tied to a PowerPoint. And they use chart paper and that kind of stuff to write up the questions and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a matter of teacher preference of how they want to deliver the material.
Will look different next year. The work they're doing this August and September, will that kind of like a lesson plan they can then go and,
Oh, absolutely.
okay.
Yes, it will be so much.
So it won't be the same thing every single fall that they have to do something brand new. Okay.
Just a sort of a built-in kind of thing. Well, you just mentioned this, the teachers, some of them were saying that they didn't necessarily want us to prepare things, but I've heard a lot say that differently, that they did. If it was going to be a countywide program, because first thing I asked was, do you, at your school, because obviously if it were a Chocowinity school, I know a little bit more about what goes on because I'm out there probably a little bit more, but these were other schools. And I was asking, do you have grade level meetings, planning sessions? And if so, if you have, let's say, if you have 5 third grade classes, surely all 5 teachers aren't sitting down doing the same work. And, one person could be doing, share. I said, or at least are you doing that? And I'm hearing some yes, some no. But I was thinking if it was something that's a countywide program with a lot of the same duplication, why can't we not force, but why can't we do central office kind of stuff and send it to them so that everybody out there is not having to do it? I mean, now, some of them won't like that either, I know.
We can.
But I'm hearing a lot of them say that's what they wish we were doing.
And then we hear a lot of them say, where do I get the variety in this?
Right.
And if we do everything for them, then we're giving them a scripted plan, and that
Well,
was.
but couldn't it be a situation where we just gave them something that they can tweak or follow, like a supplement to their lesson plan? I mean, I'm just kicking around ideas. Because, teachers have so much on, they've got this, they got math programs that we've tweaked and changed, and, they're in the middle of assessments and doing things. They just don't have time for that. And I'm hearing a lot of them, different schools, different teachers, because I don't want anybody to always think, oh, he's always talking about Chocowinity. This has nothing to do with that. These are north of the river schools I'm hearing from. And they're saying they're spending an hour, hour and a half at night. And that just seems like a lot to me. Seems like a lot to me.
And I've heard some things too, but have you gone back to the schools with when the principal has his staff meeting and kind of get an assessment or a barometer of their thoughts and their feelings and those types of things? Is that going on?
Put in their classrooms.
Right. And we've gone to pod meetings and grade level meetings that we've been requested to be at.
So what's the feedback that you're getting from most of the teachers?
Well, that is hard,
Okay.
but once we go through that with them and talk about, this is a summary of what you say in this part. You don't have to read every word that's on this page, just like you would do for any other lesson plan. And once we walk through that, I feel like people have got a better understanding of, oh, I get that, or, okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, and my advice to you, part already know this, is stay very close to them, and it's something brand new like that, and people don't like change. I mean, it's hard, especially teachers. I mean, I'm in a family of a bunch of teachers, and, you know, they like to...
It is hard, and we haven't made any bones about it. It is hard, and it's going to take some preparation, it's going to take some studying. I don't care what you do, if it's new, it's new.
And a PowerPoint could be done for any lesson, not just wit and wisdom.
And our fifth grade teachers in our county have gotten together and broken up the modules. So one school is doing this part, another school's doing this part, another school's doing this part.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, can we share that idea with other schools and other grade levels so that
We have, as
maybe
we've gone out.
they'll start doing some of that?
We've shared, you know, this is what's going on at this school, this is what they're doing, this is what they're doing.
Right.
You know, in fact, today at a school, we connected one teacher to another teacher at two different schools that they're going to get together and talk about, you know, how can we work together? How can we do this? What are you doing? What, you know, sharing ideas.
Yeah, because a lot of what I'm hearing, it sounds like there's a lot of, I'm not going to say training issues, but maybe they just haven't had a lot of training on it yet. I mean, some of them said they've not even attended more than a half a day since we first came out with it.
And there's a
that's not very
strategic
much for a new program.
Right. But when we had them for 2.5 hours on our training day, they went through Module 0, which includes all the parts of a lesson plan. And strategically, that training was done that way because you have, from our training, they have to go do parts of it before you have the next piece of training, so they kind of understand what you're talking about. If we had given them all the training that we received in one whole day, they would have walked out and thrown stuff at us.
The
year's young.
Yeah, I was going to say, just, you know, it wouldn't hurt to keep one eye out.
So we're laying this out just like Wit and Wisdom
Right.
has done with other school districts and following the implementation plan.
But I have to say, too, the comments that we've gotten have not all been negative.
Oh, no,
You know,
they haven't.
And like you all, I'm sure the calls you get are generally not the positive calls. We've had folks who've said this is a breath of fresh air, there's more rigor here, I've got kids doing different level, asking leveled questions. There's no question, anything we do, brand new, has an implementation period that's difficult for folks. And we understand that. What I would ask is that if there's something that our folks can do in terms of providing support, let us know that, because we want to do that for our teachers.
Yeah, and that's all I'm kind of, I'm not saying everything bad, negative about it. As I've told Don 2 or 3 times probably this week, there's probably enough of it I don't even know about to ask you the right question at this point, so how can I point a finger?
And we have videos that would really enlighten you on that.
Okay.
We would love to
share
share
those
them
with
with
We
you.
would love to
nice.
share
I have
those
them.
with you.
But I mean, overall, you've got a good feeling of positive feedback from the instructors, that they're buying into this.
Well, one of them really details how she started out and how she was struggling, and then after she did a few lessons, it really clicked, and it just is really great for her now. And we've got another one up there that just says she absolutely loves it. I'll get Lacey to
I
get
think maybe after the first 9 weeks, if we can see the videos and then get more of a, I mean, let's give it some more time. I mean, we've been in school how long?
I'm not going to take up your time. I have more questions and concerns than what we have time, but I also, hear the good things, and so I am disappointed in the rollout. I wish that our teachers would have had more time with this program before school started. I think that's the overwhelming complaint that I get, is that there's so much that gets piled on them just for the start of school, and then this rolled out right before school started for a lot of them. Not everybody spends their whole summer, worrying about their curriculum for the fall, but some do. It depends on, the personality and the type of teacher, and sometimes it may depend on the grade level they teach. But anyway, I'm disappointed that we have so many teachers across the county that are really upset. That's not how I want any teacher to start their school year, is to feel like they are overwhelmed with new curriculum. But you're right, no matter what it would have been, they would have been overwhelmed, because change and something new is difficult. I'm just, like Michael,
Please
be available
encourage
to them, be available to them.
But please encourage them to contact us, because if we don't know, we can't fix it. And so.
And I know that some have, and I appreciate you
Right,
going.
absolutely.
Kindergarten teachers are really struggling because it is hard, and I know you've talked to some in particular, But that's one of many that have the very same concerns. That you've got kindergarten students that still have never been to a preschool. So they have no structure background. These teachers are still trying to teach them that this means be quiet or how to stand in a line, and somehow this kid who's never had structure is supposed to respond to this. And they roll around on the rug and cry because they totally don't understand. So I hope that you will help our kindergarten teachers get through that. Maybe this doesn't need to start in the first week of school for our little 5-year-olds. Maybe it does, I don't know.
Well, I'd love to show you the presentation because it includes our implementation, and the videos, but we cannot do that.
No,
Yeah.
we'll give it more
But maybe
time.
we
I mean,
need to see that
we're with it
and
now, but-
and share as much as you can with all the teachers all across so that they're seeing maybe what's working somewhere. If you share that video in another school, they'll see, and maybe it hadn't occurred to them to use that same strategy. I just want them to all to catch on and embrace it and make it work.
And I think it needs to be said that, we went through a little bit of the training, and we could see the passion and the commitment from y'all. And I don't want that to be lost on what we're talking about right now.
Right.
People, I've heard good, I've heard some bad calls, and that's usually the calls that we're going to get, and that's what we ran for, to be able to handle that kind of stuff. But I want people to know that y'all believe in this product and just give it time. And I feel good about it.
Yeah, we're going to just keep working at it. The only last thing I would say, if you don't, I know you guys will go out to schools and work. I've heard you've been out there, I know all that. But I also know there's only a couple of you, and there's only so many places. I was asked by some teachers to ask you, how about the possibility that there are outside reading specialists that will come in and assist us? Now, when they tell me that, I don't know where they're coming from. Does the state have some people that we can ask? Well, why are they telling me there's people that'll come help us?
They're not trained.
That would help you guys not have to be,
But they're not
additional
trained
hands.
in
Training
wisdom.
wisdom.
Is there anybody else in the state that's
I mean,
doing Wit and Wisdom?
Nope.
Not for the first time, but maybe in their third or fourth year?
We have
Yeah, we could
contacted
reach out.
Lorraine Griffith, who is one of the authors of Wit and Wisdom, who
Okay.
has been in our county before. We're waiting for her to get a cost
Okay.
back to us on how much that would cost for 7 visits, which would be each school, which would involve on-site training, observations of classrooms, and then like a debriefing.
This is somebody that wrote it?
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure you're going to get a very unbiased opinion from her.
Right. What other counties are doing this nearby? What other counties are doing this that you've seen it in action?
I think that's where I'm going. Who else is doing it that's not attached to it or
And I
married
don't
to it
think
like
we
that?
need just
That's not selling
observation.
it.
I think we need somebody to meet with them, during some of these PD sessions and help them explain how it's rolled out, not just
And
going
and
around the
honestly,
schools
that's
looking.
what she would do. She is very good at that. She has given us lots of stuff that if her company knew that she gave us, they would probably be upset with her. But she's truly about children and about learning, and I think she would be that for us. It wouldn't be just her, there would be other people from the company coming.
So what other counties are doing this?
Well, Buncombe County's one of them.
Charlotte Mecklenburg.
Charlotte, Mecklenburg, and then the whole state of Louisiana, Massachusetts, which is one of our contacts, one of our principal, and there's helped us out a lot.
So nobody down the street or next door to us, nowhere close by.
We're the first.
Do you know why the whole state of Louisiana took it over? That's interesting that a whole state would adopt
The
it.
state adopted Wit and Wisdom.
We can send you the evaluation Louisiana did on the program. If you're interested in that, we can send you that link.
And that's great. You may want to send that to the teachers.
Now, did you say Massachusetts as well? The whole state?
No, districts in that state.
Okay.
They are implementing it slowly, kind of like we're trying to do. We've got to start somewhere. Somebody has to be the first
absolutely.
one.
Right.
Yeah, and we're trying to improve
Just keep,
our kids, so.
Right.
But we had to look at the core because of MTSS, and we had to do something because what we had was not reaching 80% of our students. Nowhere near it.
I'm fully with you there as far as that goes.
Mr. Chairman, this
Yes.
looks like there's just an issue here that we need to go back and revisit with these ladies in more detail in the
Yep,
work session.
more than here.
Right. And so I
Okay.
would suggest
Let's give
that the
it-
next work session it be put on the agenda.
Yeah, we can't, that's a great idea. And it'll give us more time. Give us more time.
They need
And we'll all
their
learn.
material to show
That's,
us.
we'll all learn something. won't we?
That's right, so.
Okay, well,
Okay,
just,
thank you.
just keep at it.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. computer cut off, so I gotta find out where it's back at. Coaching supplements are actually budget, and that would be Mr. Willie Mack.
At the last board meeting, you all asked me to come back and give you some calculations on the recommendations that Mr. Joe Koch, I can never pronounce his last name correctly, presented to you all. One of the things at the earlier meeting, he talked to you all about doing leveling, and he gave you all a figure, and you said go back and do it, but technically you all didn't formally take a vote on it, so we're still paying right now on the old scale, and hopefully when you all agree, we can encompass it all, and we'll make one change in the salaries and retro them back. And just for information, leveling was to put a standard increase between the different grades. Just for an instance, the athletic director at the high school, when it went from 2 years of experience to 3 years, there was an $82 increase. When you went from 5 to 6, it was $44. When you went from 8 to 9, it was a $261 increase. So his recommendation was that they did a $105 increase every time you made that transition to another step. So I believe Ms. Duke emailed you all a packet or spreadsheet of the various schools with the different
It's attached on here, it's on the
sports.
screen. Yeah, we're looking.
And if you'll flip to the last page, I'll just give you the summaries.
Yep.
If you did the leveling costs based on the current ones that we have some number of vacancies still. We're looking at about a $3,900 increase in your current coaching supplement lines to cover just the leveling approach. If you were to do the leveling and put the 10% increase in based on the folks that we have right now and their years of experience, it would be about a $20,867 increase in the coaching supplements, salary
total.
lines, and fringes.
All right, and
Okay.
that was the figure we were originally threw out, was 34,000.
Right.
So it'd be less than what we were expecting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're just gonna bring this is guided on here so everybody can look at it.
Right.
You're just gonna bring it back to the next, I would ask you to bring it back to the next meeting as a action item.
Okay. One of the things that you will notice in the individual schools, you'll see some yellow cells where there's some zeros. Those are when they do the leveling, we have some people that won't make what they're currently making, so we'll hold them harmless. So technically, there is no increase for the school system in that particular line.
But nobody gets hurt.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I think when we go all the way across, even with the 10%, I think I have one employee that is, no, she's fine, we changed her table. So
Okay.
we don't have anybody that would be in a hold harmless category.
Okay, so, yeah, let's just make sure this is on the agenda for the next meeting, and we'll take a vote at that point in time, and have a rep, maybe all the board members will be in as well. But it's less than 34,000 we were kind of thinking about. Okay, that's fine. Any questions anybody has before I move on? Okay. We'll move on to the action item, and we're back, well, no, we're not back with Stan. Capital budget update. Saw budget and wanted to throw it back at Willie Mack again.
We just have one item tonight, and that's the awnings at Chakawindy Primary. Y'all asked me to get some quotes on and get back with you.
Okay.
I think the first one is up is the actual drawing of the one that was taken over by the wind on the pre-K side. 2 classrooms, 101 and 103, or 201 and 203, I think it is. It's on the 100 hall. And then the second awning is the one over on the 200 hall to the outside of the gym exterior. The two projects together come in individually quoted at $10,000 even. We previously closed out a project at Eastern with the awning at $9,700 was the budget on it. And Mr. Oliver asked that I see if we could get that to work in the number. Mr. Walker has agreed. If y'all would agree to do both the canopies at the same time, he would do it for $9,700.
Okay, I'm just catching up with you. My computer was
All right.
slow as I am.
So we're actually saving $37 and getting 2 canopies.
Okay. Anyone have any questions about this?
I recuse myself
I
from
got
this
you. I
conversation.
knew that was coming. Anybody
Just one
else?
for the record.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? No, I mean, obviously, we got some poles out there with nothing up there now because it was all taken away from us. So
Yeah.
we got to do something.
Correct.
Move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any last questions? Any, Mike?
Whatever his name is.
Mike. Anybody have any last questions? Understand? I know what you're talking about. Anybody else have any
Yeah.
questions? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed to that? Okay, that's it. You have two, okay, there's nothing else.
That was
we
it,
need to
yes,
look
sir.
at, though. Yeah.
Yep, didn't have any addition,
How
anything
about the
changed.
south side deal? I'll just
They're
ask
still
you.
waiting on the door. The door's supposed to arrive the 24th, and they give me a date to have it up by the 27th.
Okay.
So,
Well, maybe.
we have a temporary door put in place. It is in place, and it is a rated door, so we are secure as far as that goes. But the permanent door with the glass where they can actually see who's on the other side, it's
Okay.
being shipped.
Would
So-
you mind, whenever that does come in, would you take a picture of it?
Most certainly.
for us, so we can
Yes,
see
ma'am.
what
And
the
that's
finished
the
product
last
all
piece.
looks
The other ones are
like?
working great.
Good.
Start of school,
Good,
everyone
good.
I've been to's been locked, and I've had to gain access. Of course, I had a key, but I've asked to be buzzed in, and the feature works. And
Great.
Haven't
Chocolate
heard
in the
anything.
middle, are they okay now?
yes, ma'am, working
Okay.
great. Yep.
Yep, theirs is.
Stan, are we
That
gonna
worked out
get,
nice.
excuse me,
Yes, ma'am.
Chairman. Stan, are we getting the work done over at Ed Tech? What's gotta be done over there now?
I'm not aware of anything. Part of it's finished.
Okay, y'all finish over there. Well, I was in there today.
Okay.
I went there today, and I was told that you were supposed to be taking something out of that.
The teacher the principal has asked, it wasn't in our original scope of work. She wants the desk removed, that counter there, but it wasn't in our budgeted item. It's something that we plan to do in the future as money's allowed, but it wasn't in our original scope of work. What we originally decided to do was replace the wood door with a glass storefront and cut the wall off and case it in. That's all been completed with the lock system. After that was done, she said it would be nice if we take the rest of the counter out, which the counter tearing out's not a problem, it's the fixing the floor to match back that costs money. So, we could actually go tear it out with just our labor, it's not a problem.
Need to be tile something?
The tile, you'll have to retile the whole room because it would definitely stick out with a 4-foot by 6-foot piece right in the middle of the floor.
Okay, so is she understanding
Yes,
that?
ma'am, I told her if money allowed, as our budget ran and we had some money at the end of the year, I would try to get it done for her. We could do her office. I wouldn't have enough money to do the halls and corridors, of course, but out of our general operation funds, but we have to see how that runs out.
Okay, the other question is, the wall that they're talking about painting, she said that they had sent the paint over?
Yes, ma'am. the
There's paint there,
custodians-
and the teachers are supposed to paint the wall?
Now, you're in, which we're at now?
Excuse me?
Where are we at? What room?
The wall that when you walk into the building, the
That's
front
the
of the
custodial
building?
staff that's supposed to paint that.
The who?
The custodial staff.
Okay, is there, Dr. Phillips, is there any liability on having volunteers to go at the school and do work like painting?
It depends on, they have to have a background check. We've had folks who've come through the prison system in the summer when students aren't there that would do that type of work.
No, I'm not talking about no prisoners, no, I'm talking about regular community people.
I mean,
That's what I'm talking
We just
about.
need, anybody who's in the building, we'd like to know who they are and have a background check, but no, any kind of work that we can get that's quality work, we would welcome it.
Oh.
If you've got some people that are interested, we'll reach out to them.
Okay.
All right. Any other?
Not for me.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, now we're back to Mr. Willie Mack, and I believe it says budget amendments.
Yeah, these are the budget amendments to close out fiscal year 17. There were some additional monies we've received that we had not budgeted in the state fund. It's $22,805.71. Those monies have been budgeted and expended, and those funds have, they have to zero at the end of the year. We're not able to carry anything over. Your next one is your local budgets. There were some transfers, if you look at the top in the revenue lines. There was some STEM East money that we received, that we expended the money out of local, and we were going to move the money because it came in a grant into Fund 8, and we were going to transfer it back over to local. However, the auditor kind of told me, we really don't want you to move the money from 8 to local because of the issue of total expenditures and how they divvy up between charter schools and everyone. It just makes it cleaner to keep that money separate. We do have some monies left over from prior projects in Fund 8 that we can absorb it. So that one I'll come back with a little bit cleaner detail, and you'll also see an offsetting one in Fund 8.
Okay.
Okay? But the overall change in Fund 2 was $13,416.38. The other one is your federal budget. I gave you this to basically say there was no changes. Those were grant applications early on in the year that are set in stone. But just for informational purpose, I wanted you to see there was no changes within the federal programs. Likewise, you all set your capital pretty clean. There are no changes in your capital as well since your last budget.
Didn't have
Yeah, that's pretty easy to keep up with these days.
Food service, we had some additional monies, we have receivables that come in, and we had to move monies around based on the school expenditures to cover the cost in those budgets. There again, we received an additional $152,208.02.
Got it, okay.
The next one we have is the school funds. These are the individual schools. There was an $11,948.89 change within the individual school funds. Part of that had to do with the additional revenues received and then truing up with the fund balances that they carry to match them, make them match what should be going forward in the new year.
What do they use those monies for? Because we were talking today, that's, too many things to mention.
No, it's
But
one of
Jim-
those things that in talking with the auditor and the LGC, it has to be used for after-school program. That does not mean that there cannot be a secondary benefit.
Right.
If they have a computer program that they want to run in their after-school program, they could buy computers and a cart to use for that. Doesn't say that those computers could not be utilized during the school day as well. It's just a matter of being able to work those two pots of money to get the bang for the school's buck.
Okay.
Okay? Your after-school program, there again, we received some additional monies, and we had some changes in some expenditures. If you'll recall, John Cotton Taylor runs a summer program, so that's why you're seeing that one come in as well. And then your last one is the monies that were due tos and froms in Fund 8, and it's reflected in a $49,000 decrease in that overall fund.
Okay, and that's the last one.
Yes, sir.
And
And we had a request last week, Ms. Tilly Rogers' estate balance, according to the audit last year, is $60,194.
That's the question Mac had asked about the fund that had been set up.
I'm just glad it's still there.
It's still there. Has anything been removed from that fund recently?
There was nothing removed in the 17 fiscal year. Looking back, there was about $1,400, it looks like, that was moved in year 16.
Mac, isn't that supposed to be a scholarship fund, so there should be something come out of it every year?
No, it's supposed to go towards helping with supplies with the 3 agriculture programs. It's not a scholarship.
Well, we can't
Okay.
touch the principal, can we?
Cannot touch the principal,
Right.
just the interest off
But
of it.
I guess, was there just no, I knew that,
$8 maybe?
It
right,
wasn't a
some-
scholarship.
that some monies would come out of it every year, but it was just the interest. I guess, was there just no interest, or did no one know to take funds out?
In 16,
By 16, do you mean 15, 16 school year?
yes, ma'am.
So for the
Carolyn, I think
16,
with the teachers that we've had, the change over with teachers and then finance directors, folks probably didn't even know it was there. And I think Mac bringing that up, we need to bring it to their attention and make sure that we follow that. If the wishes for the folks that put the money there were that it be used for that purpose, we need to make sure.
right, exactly.
What's it being invested in?
yeah.
In the agriculture
I mean,
program.
but as far as financially, what's it being invested in, the money?
Oh, I don't know, I reckon in one of the,
I mean, we put it in a CD and at least make, $800 on it. If we're putting it in a savings account, we're making about $8 on it.
Which might
I'm
be why
serious.
there was no money
That's
taken
true.
out of
I mean, you're not
it.
going to take, here's a $14 scholarship.
You make a 1/10%.
And I couldn't remember, I said scholarship, but I
Yeah.
knew that it
Your
went
interest, your
towards
CDs
something.
earn more than mine did in Washington County, but I'll double check.
Well, there's a CD out there right now for, 1.5 for a 2-year or year.
Is there, usually they're high dollar to get that yield.
I think this is 25,000 minimum.
Okay, I'll double check on it then,
I
thank
think
you.
we got that much in there. I can.
You said 60, you said 60, didn't you?
60,000.
Twice.
Yeah.
I just want to, if there's something that's supposed to go to those programs, I certainly want to make sure it happens.
And I know things have changed, and I'm not slighting the gentleman that's handling it now on these duties, but I know several finance officers in the past, or whatever your title is now. I don't know what is that close enough? You're called many things, aren't you? Okay.
Yeah.
But I know several finance officers in the past did put money in other bank accounts for things like this, to draw interest. And so, any way we can work our money, and it be legal, of course, I think we ought to do it, because it's going back to the kids anyway.
That's, we're not, nobody else is getting it.
I mean, if they're FDIC insured, I mean, it's, your money's insured, so.
Right. Okay.
I'll double check.
Okay.
Check on it and let us know what you find out.
So what's your pleasure on these amendments to the budget?
I move that we accept the amendments as presented by Mr. Carolyn.
Okay, I hear a second.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any last questions? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Now that's done. Quick question, because we already talked on the phone today. Since this just was for 16, 17, and I know we're in a new year, you know where I'm headed.
Where are we on
The
budget?
athletic budgets that are supposed to go out to the school.
Right.
What we decided, did you decide you were going to contact them or what?
Yes, we sent out an email today to let them know that their budgets are not in. Hopefully, we'll get there within the next week or so, and I know that we've said that before. The last 2 days have been dedicated with the auditors
Okay.
the whole time. They'll go ahead and plan on looking at those lines that they had last year. We'll look at a 3-year average
Okay.
to work from, and that they had expended any monies from their Fund 6 monies within their athletic program. If they'd like to, if they'll notify me of the dollar amounts and the specifics, we will refund their school athletic programs with the monies that we will appropriate in the state.
But what we talked about, you notified them.
Yes, sir.
And for the board, the reason I asked that question, we were talking today on the phone because schools had questions of us. They're working on their athletics, but they've been working out of gate receipts on a lot of things because they didn't have access to their funds. But that's in the work to be taken care of, so I guess schools are here and there's help on the way.
Yes, sir.
And I wrote it down, and I'll ask you at the next meeting again. Okay?
I'll be sure that
Oh, no, I'm sure.
local 9:30 will be
I'm sure
complete.
you will. No problem. Okay, that moves us on to the North Carolina School Board Association Awards Program, and, oh my, delegate selection.
And this is in anticipation, we do this annually with the School Board Association's annual conference work that they have, that we attend in November. And part of that is the voting delegates that we have, and the first item here is that we need to identify, we have 4 slots available, so those who are going to be going to the annual conference, we need to determine who would be representing Beaufort County as a delegate, voting delegate.
Who's going?
I'm going.
Going.
One?
I'm going, I reckon.
If you're going, raise your hand, so we see. Okay.
You know I live there.
Raise your hand. You notice I waited to raise my hand.
But you're welcome to take my spot.
No.
You know I live there.
That's the one in November, right?
Yeah.
Been there, done that, so I wanted to make sure I wasn't the one of the 4 that raised my hand.
We need formal action on that. That we
I
need to submit.
understand, but who wants to be a delegate? Let's go ahead and make sure.
So you need a formal nomination?
We did.
Okay.
I move to nominate Michael Bilbrough, Mac Hodges, E.C. Pete, and Alpha Booth to be our 4 voting delegates.
Okay. Do I hear a second? Okay.
Well, they're nice.
Is that what you need? Okay. Does anybody else want to jump on that list?
We have a slot for an alternate. if
An
we add a
alternate?
name.
Come on.
Okay.
Bush isn't here, let's put him on there.
Good.
No, I'm playing. I'm just playing.
Terry, you going?
Do it that Terry. Somebody nominate that Terry then.
When is it in
He can
November?
be the al- Oh, I didn't even ask where you going. I'm sorry. Yeah, so.
Well, no, I mean, I don't believe I can go.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Butch is going.
Butch is going? Okay.
I'll
Butch sounds like a
nominate
good
Butch.
alternate.
Can we amend that amendment? To the motion to include him as an
I move that
alternate.
we nominate Butch as an alternate pending his agreement to serve.
Add it to the list.
Well said.
Okay, so now we have our 4 and an alternate. Let's just skip the last questions. Anybody, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, you got your
Okay,
delegates.
there are several things that go on the few days that we're there. One will be a poster contest, and you all, if you've been before, you know that schools create videos. We're encouraging our folks to submit that so that you can see that going on, and there's actually a cash prize available for our schools, but there's some other things that there as well. One is an excellence in educational programming, and what we'd like to do is submit the work that we've been doing that crosses middle school into high schools. We try to get students prepared for life after graduation as they're doing career exploration and exploring colleges and those types of things. We put a lot of work together. I met with the counselors all the way through from kindergarten through early college today, and we'd like to write that up as the program that would be considered for recognition at the state level.
Do you have to have
You
action
need
for that?
action on that as well.
I have no problem with it if the board does it. So
Sounds good to me.
Like to make a motion that that's what he does?
So
Yeah, I
moved.
move that
Okay.
Dr. Phipps do the write-up and present it.
Okay.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You got your work cut out, Don?
And then we have a Raleigh Dingman Award. This is
Yeah.
the highest honor bestowed on North Carolina School Board member each year. And if you'd like to recommend or nominate one of our board members, we have some paperwork to write up if that happens. And
You don't mind doing that work? Don, I actually talked to Don today about this, and I read up on that, because there are certain qualifications that need to be met. And I believe this person, well, I don't believe it, I know it, this person meets all the qualifications and deserves the honor. I'd like to nominate Miss Eltha Booth for
No,
that position.
I really, thank you so much.
would
Thank you
be-
so
you
much,
would be a
Chairman.
wonderful person
Thank you
for that.
so much, Mr. Chairman. But I think I have to decline this time. I mean, I took your nomination last year, but
Well,
but you know, since you don't have nobody,
I was gonna say, I think the board ought to just override that and do it anyway.
Well, I'll second you, so.
There you go.
You don't have to do anything, just say thank you when you win the award.
yeah, you're right.
Say thank you very much.
I mean, look how she's represented us at the state level. I mean, I can go on and on and on.
And believe you me, that's the only reason that I'm going to accept this,
Well-
because I do want to represent this board everywhere I go.
And I know
So-
that.
The fact that you don't want to accept it is why we want to accept it.
That makes it even more
That's-
so.
Thank you,
doesn't it,
Michael, you know, I really
That's
care a
right.
lot for you.
So, do we need to take formal action on that? So I believe there was a nomination, there was a second. All in favor of Ms. Booth, say aye. Aye. Okay. Good
Get on
luck.
that. Thank you.
Give my glasses back on so I see where we're at.
Field trips.
Field trips, do we have many
You have
on
an
here?
attachment there. There are 7 that are listed. Many of these are in the next calendar year, this academic year, but because of where they're going in the charter bus and just the planning that has to be done, they just want to get approval. The first one is P.S. Jones. It's in May, the 5th through it's a one-day. Williamsburg participating in a music showcase festival. All of these have the appropriate number of chaperones, but they would be taking a charter bus. Another P.S. Jones, March the 18th, 2018, FBLA for workshop and competition in Greensboro. Southside High School, April the 18th through the 20th, Skills USA. This is an annual state-level competition that our students attend in Greensboro. Washington High School, the 13th of April through the 15th, will be the band students visiting Richmond, Virginia to visit museums and some other things at the state level. And then Northside High School, this is a 2017 trip in November, Science Club attending Washington DC for some museum visits. And Chocowinity Middle in April, the 8th grade class attending Washington DC to visit the Capitol.
And they've got all their chaperones down, correct, it looks like?
Move approval.
Okay, have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve the field trip. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Got it done, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
there was an oversight,
Okay.
whether it's my fault or someone else's, I do not know, but I sent a request here to the central office for an item to be on the action for tonight
Okay.
from NERSBA. We have to approve a person for parent parent advisory committee membership, and it has to be board action, and Mr. Davis, the principal, sent this to me, and I forwarded it on, but Bill Gates may have not worked Beaufort County on September the 12th, but I've got it here. It's Miss Bohem from Raised in the Barn, Mandy.
I know Mandy.
All right, well, anyway, she is being nominated by the NERSBA staff to serve as Beaufort County's representative for the Parent Advisory Committee.
Okay.
And it goes in to tell all about, but everybody knows how Mandy, so, anyway, but this has to have local board's approval, so I can carry it back, or Dr. Phipps carry it back to the staff.
Okay, why can't we just back up and include that with the delegate?
Yeah, that's what-
Selection, we just back up to 6.3 and include it right under there.
That, I would appreciate it, because that board meets tomorrow afternoon.
So you
Do
got
we
the
have
name?
to, do we have to vote to add it, Lisa, or can we just add it?
I think that'd be cleaner, it'd be better to add it and make it official.
Okay.
So just
The vote on it.
Somebody make a motion.
Can we make,
to add that
I'll make a
to
motion that we
6.3.
add it to 6.3 of the action section, and then also tag along with that, that we accept Ms. Mandy Bowen
Go on.
Second.
as a representative.
Okay, so we got both of them covered, and you got it down. Anything else we need to know about that, Matt?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
And then
Then, okay,
Carol.
then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed to that person? And I think it will be. Okay, thanks, Matt.
All right, I'll report back to them. Come on.
That'll take me to a closed session motion.
I move that we go into closed session pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11A1 to prevent disclosure of confidential personnel files under General Statute 115C-321.
second.
Okay, got a motion, second, we go into closed session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're in closed session. Okay, we're back in open session, and first order of business is to approve the personnel agenda just discussed.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, I recuse myself from 4A.
Okay, you got that, Lisa?
And I'm gonna,
Okay, have a motion and a second to my right. Any last questions? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed to what was on there? Okay. Calendar for 2017 of October. And I'll keep that.
September the 28th, we had the Minority Hiring Practices Committee, 4 PM here in the boardroom. October the 3rd will be our work session for that month, and then October the 17th would be the monthly board meeting at 5:30.
Okay. Any board member updates? Anybody like to share the news?
I would just say that let's not forget about the wit and wisdom, and on the, assuming after the 9 weeks, that'll be October what? Or is that even November?
31st
is in the grading period.
Okay, I would like to get back together with that group again, just to
Okay.
stay
They
close.
had a presentation tonight, but we didn't go through that with them.
And part of my fault, I guess, I mean, because it was, another 30-minute presentation. We need to do, like Matt suggested, we may need to do that in a work session.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, superintendent updates?
Just wanted to say that we've got a teacher at Eastern Elementary that's being recognized at the state level who's going to be North Carolina Demonstration Program Classroom, Katie Welch, and we've gotten that notification from DPI with some of the things that they're going to be doing there.
Good news.
Mr. Dolan, there was something else I had written, and it's not saved on my board docs. Do you recall?
Yes, sir. This summer, when the General Assembly passed the various raises for different employees, the one that was still kind of held up was the raise for bus drivers. And it was essentially, it wasn't a flat raise across the board. It was more of a calculation between how many bus drivers you have, what your average rate of pay is, and then they were given a certain amount of money, and it was kind of left up to figure out what that raise would be, and then check it with the state to make sure that was the case. And we just wanted to say that we're very fortunate that the minimum increase for our bus driver is going to be $1.07 an hour, and the maximum increase would be $1.31 an hour, which means now if you're a beginning bus driver, you're going to make $13.29 an hour. If you're a bus driver with 15 or more years experience, top of the scale, $16.30 an hour. And we certainly are welcome to anyone in the community who would like to be a bus driver enjoy these new rates. We'd be glad to talk to you.
I'm glad.
They're not just beating our door down, are they?
No, sir. We would like them if they would.
Okay, anybody have any last words?
Good night.
If not,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
was that a motion, Elton?
It
All in
could've
favor,
been.
say aye. Aye. And we're out of here. When you